Man, I never get tired of that dang thing. It's so cool. All right, welcome everybody to another wonderful edition of the Vamp and Chone Show. So another great end of day show we got going on here today. I'm just gonna kind of kick this off really quick. Say hi to everybody, Chone.
Hey everybody, how's it going tonight?
All right, so Chone just hopped off the yacht. He was doing a little Barbie, had sipping some champagne. You know, champagne is for them rich folk up there in the East Coast. That's where he lives. He's up in the Hamptons area. So if you guys ever want to see the big Chone, he'll be out in his big 40-footer, 60-footer, something like that, sailing around up there with all the rich people hobnobbing. That's where you'll be able to find him, okay?
Just enjoying those last few days of summer.
That's right. Just look for the boat with the skanks on it. That's him, okay? So, all right. So let's take a look and just kind of break down where we're at. We just pulled a brand new 2-day candle here. Now, this is quasi-bullish Hamari, quasi inside bar. And I've got mixed feelings on this right here, okay? And I've got some mixed feelings on this, and I feel that this is a little bullish here, but I want to warn everybody, this is not like super extremely bullish. And I'm kind of going to go over a couple things really quick here, and let me just reduce this down. I'll move this over here. So kind of first off, this pattern right here is I've got different, it's kind of just going to breeze through. Damn it. Where are you? Let me find this chart. Hold on a second. A graph, I should say. Graph. Let me pull this puppy up. All right. Okay. So here you go. Here's kind of an idea of, so this is a bearish version of this candle right here. So you've got the mother candle, right, that is engulfing this. Now, in the Harami world, this is bullish, right? This is definitely a bullish inside bar right here. There you go. You know, you've got a bullish inside bar. Now, the wick going up over is okay, right? Because you can see here's another one. I mean, you get 500 freaking versions, right? So here's a bullish Harami right here. Okay, so you got the bullish Harami set up, which is really, really clear. Now, I wish this was just a little bit higher. This would make me feel a little more, because this kind of looks like, what is that? Is it the baby bar? What do they call it? Is it the baby bar, Chone? Chone, you there?
It's not the open bar. That one's all used up.
The open bar. We do have a free open bar right now. Is it a baby bar? Baby inside bar. What's it? I think it's got a be inside now. What's it called? It's got some kind of inside bar. What is it called? There's a name for it when it's that small at the bottom. Anybody know what the hell the name of that is? Let's see if we get somebody out here in the. Nope. Anybody? Nobody knows what that's called.
Bueller.
So it's got a Bueller. Yeah, it's got a. It's the bottom. It's like called the baby bar or something like that. Where in the heck are you? Let's see if we can find this thing. Yeah, see, here it is at the bottom. I know it has a specific candle name. I just can't remember what the damn candle name is on it. Okay. Anywho. All right, so we printed up this candle, combo candle thing. Now, you've got to be really careful here, okay? So we've got a couple things that are going on. So 3-day, no, definitely not. The daily. So we just printed up this crazy spinning top right here. Like, look at this thing. Now, here's the issue you have. This technically is engulfing, right? This candle engulfed, from wick to wick, engulfed the previous candle. So this is bearish, right? So this is bearish right here for this particular combo setup, all right? But with that being said, hold on a second. I want to get this. Where's my other chartsies? The thing that we are watching like a hawk in the members area, besides ETH, just die. When we're making fun of ETH, don't judge us, okay? Let me get rid of this. Where is that chart? Come here. Where are you at? Ah, here it is. Okay, so here is the most important chart on the planet right now. This is the chart that we're watching. This is the chart we're all anticipating, right? So this is our MACD chart. Remember, this is our MACD with our RSI source. So we're watching this MACD chart because you guys, if you've been following me and you've been following my last podcast, one of the things I said was, if we look, we bounced off exactly from this area right here. Exactly, just perfect, right? Same area. Right there, right there, right there. We just bounced off the same area. Now, this is a bearish bounce. So, look, the MACD goes up. All the bulls right now should just be jumping out of their seats going, oh my God, it's going to go to the moon. Oh my God, it's so amazing. Another moonshot. And then no. Okay, so let me show you what happens when this MACD goes up right here. Right, so we're going to kind of come over here. There we go. All right, here we go. So we're going to plant a couple little baby arrows. So MACD going up, right? There you go to right there, right? So MACD goes up. What happens here? The price action dies, right? It's kind of the last leg down right there, okay? So that's the last leg down. Then take a look at this one. Going to the moon. Oh my God, it's going to be another, we're going to recover. Nope, wait, hold on. This time, I swear, we're going to the moon this time. And nope, price dies. Okay, so going up right here is extremely bearish. Okay, so we're just going to come over here and look, there's that. There's that fall. So it came up and then just died, right? Created that lower low right there. All right. But the worst thing that happens here is this initial fall from here to here. And all of that initial fall happens in the little teeny tiny space right here. This little space created this massive fall. Look at this little teeny tiny pocket right here. This little teeny tiny pocket. You're like, oh, that's not much, vamp. And then you go up here and you're like, well, let's throw a fib on that. It was only a 1,000-point drop. Yeah, it's a slow day for a drop right there, right? Nothing big. It just doesn't look so big. Look, it looks so teeny tiny right there. It's incredible, right? Well, guess what? Every time we've crossed this line, right, the MACD has crossed the indicator line right there, right? It is not good. It is no bueno, right? The worst part in you want to be at is right in this position and bullish at all. So right now, you guys, you need to, anybody on Twitter who's making bull calls saying this is going to 8,000, you immediate, like insta unfollow, right? Because you just don't need that in your life right now. You've been wrecked enough. Insta unfollow. And I just saw a post by Marius, right? He says it's going to like 36 hours. It's going to the moon, right? In 36 hours. Right? I mean,
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
I'm so ready. I am pulling my lungs as we speak, okay? 100x, throwing in the yacht, the boat, whatever it is. Okay, but we are definitely going to come up here just like we did last time, right? And we're going to, as soon as we make this cross, you're going to get this little E, and then every time it stalls out, and when you get that stall, you get this super ugly dip right here, right? Get this super ugly dip. And now, this has happened 1, 2, and this is possibly the third time. And right now, the only thing that can save us at this very moment is if somebody is so absolutely delusional in at the SEC and they believe that there is no manipulation whatsoever in crypto. It is pure as the golden, is the white driven snows, and there's nothing wrong with crypto, and they're going to offer the ETF like Canada did, which just, I mean, seriously, yeah. Canada, come on, Canada. First of all, nobody lives in Canada, okay? There's nobody lives in Canada. Canada doesn't have enough people. people in Canada are not as crypto crazy as the English, as the Australians, as the Brazilians, as the Chinese, as the Koreans. Now, if you would have come to me and said, you know, some big country that's super crypto crazy is going to do something insane, I would, exactly. See, nothing good comes from Canada. Ryan just said it. Filicon is there. Nothing good. Nothing stable comes from Canada. How about that? Is that better? Nothing stable.
I don't know. I don't want to create some like intercontinental conflicts here or something.
It's all right. We've got champagne and shrimp on the Barbie. Okay, we'll make it all better. So looking right here at this chart, this is what we're watching. We're watching this now. This is so weak right here. This is so weak, and every single time we've had this exact same thing play out. It has just been, look, you have a bigger bounce, smaller bounce, no bounce, right? And it's just like it's just getting weaker and weaker and weaker, and you can see that by how massive this run up was here, this insane run up here. And we didn't even go anywhere. This is a dead cat bounce. Is all this was, is just a dead cat bounce. Okay, and now we're coming down. I'm looking for, now here's another signal. Listen, we're just about, and if you go back, look, every time, look at this, you go back here, right? This went positive. The histogram went positive. Histogram went positive for just a couple days, right? 1, 2 days. And then look, it didn't even help. Look at, holy cow, man, even the positive histogram was negative. Even when this positive histogram went positive, this thing just fell out of the damn sky. Okay? Yeah, so this is good. Same thing over here. Let's see here. Yeah, look at the histogram went up and then just died out. So we're watching. We got a combination. Got to keep an eye on this histogram. It's coming back to zero just like it did the last couple times, right? Coming right back to zero here. And it's coming right back to zero here. So we're replaying this pattern again. And we really need to watch this pattern right here as it develops. And look, this very little movement right here caused a whole lot of pain. Just this very little movement, this action. So I am looking for this histogram to get close, if not touch and break this. And I'll be waiting, right, with my shorts to be placed right above this. Now, the price action does not have to go up. Let me make this clear to you. Both of these lines are moving counter to one another. Okay? So that means that's not the MACD line here does not have to go up and mean that the price is going up. This indicator line is chasing this down as quickly as this is going up, and we actually show that. Let me update this. Let me see if I can update this chart. I have the members version. Pull the members version out. Oh no, hold on a second. Let me go to here. Just got to drop something on my chart there. All right, hold on. Let me bring the members version up. Okay, there you go. So we have been tracking the movements of this now as this has gone along. Look, there was 3 right there. Right now we're 4, so I'm just going to move this. I'm going to scoot this up here. I'm going to change this to 4. Okay, I'm going to scoot this one down here. Change this one right here to 4. Oop, I want these to be the same though, so I'm going to change this arrow to this arrow to there, okay? So you can see that we're super, super close. Now what's happening is, as you get down here, you can see that these lines, they flatten out. Basically what happens is you kind of get a little dip. You get a dip. You're looking for this dip in the indicator line, a little dip in the indicator line as they cross over. They come back up, and then they're trying to come back together. It's a massive dump. And remember, that dump starts early here. So don't think that, don't think it's gonna, oh, this is gonna go crazy. And what's gonna happen is everybody's gonna be going, oh my God, it's going to the moon. Then I'm gonna have to watch a bunch of posts on Twitter, See, there it goes, and then it peaks out. So you can see that it peaks out when it crosses. So this price action peaked out when it crossed. Okay. Slide over. There's the cross. Look, the price action peaks out at the cross. Everything after this is just a dump. So this is, I'm watching for the same thing. And then let's look at the MACD. Let's take a look at where, I'm sorry, RSI. Let's see what kind of RSI action we have right now. Right? Ooh, super weak RSI. So our RSI is just totally sideways. Look at this. It's sideways. You see that? You see that? Do you see the RSI in there? Chum? Chum, chum, chum. Oh, I lost you, buddy. You're muted. All right, we lost Chum. So look at this absolute sideways RSI action here. This incredible. Uh-oh. You there? Hold on here. No audio. All right. I'm looking for, waiting for Chum to come back. Uh-oh, we lost him. Oh, he's back. Check, check. Check, 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 check.
Check, check.
Yeah,
check,
you're
check,
back.
check,
You're
check.
back. Go for it. Okay.
All right.
All right. You want to pop your screen up? All right. So anyways, we got insane sideways action right here. That's just, look at this RSI just moving sideways. This is not healthy, right? This is not what you want to see trying to say we're going to have a healthy recovery. And here was the last two times. Now we got up close to this line right here. We were getting really close to it. And then it pulled all the way back. And if you look back here historically, both of these dumps were higher. So here's the first dump right there. This is the first dump. And then here was the second dump right here, right? So there's your second dump. We're nowhere in that vicinity right now. So this has just kind of gotten weaker and weaker and weaker. And that's kind of where we're at. Let me take a look and a peeky peek at a couple more charts here. So here we go. So let's look at our, oh, we're leaning for the tether fairies. Here's our weekly chart. Our weekly chart, we're still all the way down here, right? We're still super ugly. The 2-day chart, let's look at all of our moving averages here. Nothing helping us. We do have support up above on the 2-day. It's 6,600. On the daily, look at the daily. We've got the 7MA. Just came down and slapped the living crap out of the price right there at 63.80. Right, it's just slapped it right on the nose and it backed off. And let's see if this can hold it down. Now you can see that this will actually hold down the price. And one of the things I used to do is I used to go back to the 12-hour, and you can actually count the times it touches before it finally spins back around, right? So let's see here. So if you want to go back and you can look at some prior dips, right? See, it comes down, misses, touches, break through, runs the line again, it finally bottoms out. So if we're looking to correlate something like this compared to this, right, we would kind of be like this area right here would be something like this area right here, and then we're doing this last fallout right here, looking for the last dip, right? So I would say we're right in here somewhere looking for this last dip down as a correlation. 12-hour, nothing, no crosses, nothing crazy, no bearish crosses to help out anybody. 6-hour candles. Listen, this is just ugliness right here, you guys. You got to be super careful trading in this area because all you're doing is you're getting stomped out of trades left and right, okay? That's all that's happening. Now, you do have the 50 marching down. You have the 30 and the 7 down here acting as support and resistance. So you've got 63.28 right there. Let's see if we can see some higher. 64.60. So if I was a betting man, I'd say probably the highest we can run up here is probably that 64.60 area for me. But we're going to have Chone bring over his, we're going to have Chone. I'm going to take a look at the short chart real quick. Here's our shorts. RSI is not in danger of a short squeeze. The shorts are high, but they are not endangered of a short squeeze here. Okay, this is what needs to be up here. So people say shorts are high. that's fine. They're not, the RSI is not high for the shorts to correlate a price squeeze. All right. Litecoin, just getting the bejesus knocked out of it. I have to say that Litecoin is just taking an absolute beating. Here's our Ichi chart. So we're watching this. Here you go. We're trying to break out, right? So trying to break out. Now you have two resistance levels. You have this one, and you have the wedge right here, and then you have this next resistance level up. Like I said, so we did post up a bullish candle pattern setup on the 2-day. So let's see how that plays out. But the key to me right now is just watching that MACD chart. That's it, just watching the MACD chart. All right, ready, buddy?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, go for it.
Hello, everybody. So I got a couple thoughts. That was great. I totally agree with the shorts. I'm looking for them to go much higher. I'm looking for them to break all-time highs. I got a couple charts I want to kind of show that this is September price action on Bitfinex. I'm on the 4-hour chart. Couple things here. The VPVR shows where most of our money flow has been this month, 11 days into the month. And most has actually been at a higher price point than we are currently at right now. That's interesting to me. Notice it's been basically around the $6,400 area, a little bit above there. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get up there again. Now, there are certain areas that are kind of yet to be tested there. So I want to note on our 4-hour here, our MA12, that has shown areas of resistance and then support for just one candle here, and currently is basically holding the candle close on the 4-hour underneath. We broke out at our last 4-hour before we closed our end of day, but we gave a bunch of that back actually and kind of have this little spinning top here. So our middle BB along with our EMA 12 on our 4-hour is currently acting as resistance. Now, we did have a wick here that did graze our EMA 26, currently at 63.63, and I wouldn't be surprised if that got tested again. Now, our 4-hour BBs are getting noticeably tighter. We were way wide, when we basically broke bearish. We knew we needed to go sideways-ish for a while, slightly angled downish, obviously, but bringing these indicators, our EMAs, for days, they needed to come in and get closer to where our price action was because we broke so bearish there. So we're getting a lot tighter now than we've been in several days, and that's notable because as our BBs tighten on our 4-hour, it could show us that we're in for a little more volatility in the near future. We can see what happens here when we got relatively tight in our BBs here and we started some pretty quick volatility there. Note my MA200 is up here at 6,600. Now that was initial resistance back here when we initially touched it back on August 28th. We back tested it and broke bullish from that back test hold on August 30th, which brought our last leg in of that bull move. We barely held a little support on it here, but I would be watching for see if we get another back test of it, as it seems to be kind of acting as support, now resistance, and then one more test potentially of resistance, which brings us up here. That would also obviously correspond with some sort of a bull break there. 4-hour RSI is still kind of weak. We're crawling higher, even though we're not really gaining in price here. So I kind of see that as a slight bearish divergence there, where we're getting higher without moving that high. So if we did break a little bullish, we kind of took a lot of our runway away. Same thing there with our stochastics there. We can still kind of cross bullish here and move up, but I'd rather have it happen on a fuller reset here. So the sideways price action rising these indicators is not necessarily the most bullish sign, although we are angled decently bullish in our MACD and our chalk money flow has risen. Now we like to look for a 0.2 plus or a 0.2 minus. Basically, it kind of shakes up the noise here and shows that we've actually entered an area of stronger money flow. So if we were able to break just a little bit higher here and maintain that, I'd be interested to see that fall through. Notice this area was resistance over here. back at the end of August, we weren't able to get, we kind of peaked off around this area as a whole. We're very close to it again. So again, we're showing an area here where we basically tend to top off on our money flow and lose momentum. So a lot of this sideways action has kind of taken away some of the runway that we had seen the last time we kind of broke bearish, traveled sideways for a while, and then we're able to find some steam. Looking here on the daily chart, our Bollingers are actually kind of wide here, relatively speaking. We didn't touch our lower BB yet as support, and it actually is angled bearishly, which actually means it's given more room to move down without actually touching it and be oversold. And it's literally like almost to the dollar at $6,000, the lower BB is. So that's definitely notable there. Now we're opening our day here on a green one because we've been drifting higher the past 4 days here, and basically have put in a higher open currently than 1, 2, 3, 4, than our 4-day candle back here. So that is a change there that will potentially see this being built on. But this could also change and continue our red count as the day goes on if we actually break bearish here. Still 2 more days potentially in the completed 9 cycle. Now the daily has been very accurate with our 9 count. We actually did a completed 1 on the way up, on the way down, again on the way up with a bleed out. And now, once again, I wouldn't be surprised if we kind of complete another 9 cycle on our daily, as we have done, the past 4 times in a row, up, down, even as our equilibrium, continues to get tighter here. I wanted to briefly mention the weekly RSI because we're talking about kind of patterns here. And, this is kind of a clear pattern that I'm watching here. This very tightening symmetric triangle wedge, more of a symmetric triangle actually. We have very similar areas. It's not exact, but we're basically showing here that we're putting in lower highs, we're putting in higher lows, and this apex could potentially bring us into mid-October before we actually find some sort of a let's just say a resolution of this, and we can see on our weekly chart what a bearish RSI market looks like, which is basically, more or less a break of 43 and confirming that 43 or 44 on the weekly is your strong resistance. And then that allows us to get mired in this bearish market of Bitcoin, which was what brought us into our 2014 correction. We were in for almost 9 months there. And then here we are once again on the cusp of something like that, where we've been flirting with this area. We're trying to get back up, and a firm rejection here, bringing in these lower areas, we know what that kind of a market looks like. So there's clearly a battle here being fought on this kind of wedge here. And this is kind of the short-termness looking at. I'm actually, short-term moderately bullish, and that's just because there's a couple areas I wouldn't be surprised of testing before we basically don't continue to go higher. I want to bring up just a gap. I've been watching the CME futures chart to kind of pinpoint some gaps in the chart that have always been filled. Now, sometimes these gaps take weeks or even a month, but eventually they always get filled. And we actually have 2 gaps in the chart here. So there's the one that we have basically happened earlier today, right around, maybe if you hide my TD so you can better. Basically up to 62.84. There is a gap in the price, and this actually happened here with a quick move in the price action, and it kind of skipped a beat. Thusly, we have another gap, a bearish gap that opened here, and basically that would bring the price down to 62.29. So we have 2 very small gaps in the CME futures chart. One that says we need to at least break a little bullish to 62.84. Remember, this doesn't match the price of Bitcoin tick by tick. These are basically contracts taken out of various price points. So it's close to the price of Bitcoin, but just because Bitcoin actually breaks over, 6,300 doesn't necessarily mean that the Bitcoin futures can break over that price as well. So these two small gaps in the price, one bullish, one bearish, all within literally $50 of each other. But I expect both of them to be filled at some point. So there's a little up and there's a little down, very tight equilibrium. And that kind of brings you back to, faith. Kind of what is the faith in this chart here? What is the market basically faith telling you here? Are we going to have enough momentum here to bring in new money? Does this feel like a value in Bitcoin? We're once again flirting with 109 billion market cap. We're on the Bitcoin market cap. We're sub 200 billion now on the overall crypto market cap. Still every day, more cryptocurrencies come onto the market. Also every day, new markets come onto the market. Bitcoin dominance is increasing. We were at 54, 53 a couple days ago. We're closing in on 57. I think we were actually over it earlier in the day. So alts are bleeding. Bitcoin sucking up some of the money. Bitcoin's bleeding less. Bitcoin dominance is increasing, and we have seen Bitcoin dominance get a heck of a lot higher in these circumstances here. Our volume in Bitcoin is still pretty weak. We're sub 4 billion on our 24-hour, and we kind of be in this market for some time here. Now, we do tend to see volatile moves get closer when our volume gets very low. We tend to get super low, and then all of a sudden there's a boom in the volume. That swings both ways, sometimes bullish and sometimes bearish. But as we once again flirt with 100 billion market cap in Bitcoin and the way it's going here, I mean, just to get the sense that any bullish pop is not going to be sold off. People are very tight now in their profit taking, quick scalps. So until that trend can change, profits will be taken where profits can be found. And it's not too early to basically, talk about some of those other areas, those super bearish areas that we could potentially get down to. But until we break 5750, which currently is our 2018 lows area, right now, this is just a very tight market here that has a chance to go one more leg, relatively bullish, and test that, descending resistance line that we've basically been watching, pretty much since January there. I have this kind of chart here. This is BitMEX. It's a small exchange. You may have heard of it. And they are basically, I got a couple things here. So, if I was to do, let's go log scale here, and I'll auto this out here. So listen, a 78.6% pullback on this brings us to about $4,800. Now we have hit on pretty much every altcoin, not all, but mostly every altcoin. We have surpassed bearishly, breaking, failing to hold after initial testing the 78.6 area of a pullback from basically low to high and coming down again. So if it did it in every altcoin, it did it in Litecoin, it's clearly Bitcoin is still on the table here. And how many times are we going to test this 5750 area, our February low, our June low, our August low was a little bit higher, and currently our September low potentially hasn't even been put in yet. Is one more test of this descending line here of resistance in play? Absolutely, because it's kept in our apex here. As long as we stay in this tight range here, as long as 5750 holds, then we can basically once again break a little bullish and retest this area of resistance. Every day that goes by, the lower that area becomes, so right now it could be almost $7,000, but in a couple days from now it'll be under 7. And that basically means that any bullish break we get, it just keeps getting less and less of a potential before we hit that major historical resistance. And if we are able to break this 5750 and start putting in new lows, then anything's possible. Anything in this area is possible, and it basically kind of determines how we break bearish. That can determine, how important certain areas of support happen, from a V bottom to a kind of a fulcrum bottom to an inverse head and shoulders bottom, to a correction rising wedge bottom. I mean, all these have been played out here. Depends how we get down to these areas. If a break happens, will determine what kind of price action we get to. But until we at least get down there, we're talking about a very tight range in price, hundreds of dollars here and there. And, you know, this is a news driven market now. We're waiting for that news that I don't know what it could be. Everything has been bearish. Even the bullish news has been kind of taken bearishly here. So this is kind of where we're at. The whales are left, as you said before. They're fighting it out. And yeah, I mean, if you're looking for that short squeeze opportunity, like I agree, we're just not even close to getting there yet. I expect us to retest our ATH levels. We were there. We've been close. We're basically, again, this is a triple time we've been in this area here. And once again, getting kind of close, and we're just building up. You know, we're basically broke very bullish very quickly. We've allowed our RSI to reset here. It's coiled. You know, our Stoke is coiled, but can go one more leg and stay up here. You know, everything's primed for this to go another leg higher. MACD is angled bullishly here. So everything says the shorts can go higher, and the longs have shown us nothing but, you know, just this kind of crappy chart here of deflation. And until we put in some sort of a change here where longs actually are prepared to take some more longer positions and stop selling off here. They are in this falling wedge, which is kind of becoming a little bit more apparent. We actually saw something very similar in the shorts a couple months ago here, and it actually took the price all the way down to the bottom. So I'll keep an eye on this as well and kind of watch to see if the longs play out a similar pattern here. And if they do, might be interesting to watch how this gets tighter and could set up for a nice bullish momentum in the market here. But that's a long way off until these show a sign of more strength, until the shorts really show us that they're ready to push up higher here. I still have a bearish bias, even though we could break, you know, $100 or two bullish just because of the stability of this area, you know. But it's tough to see it having a major change of direction either way. That's what I got.
Oh, hey guys. So if you guys have been following my channel for a while, you guys know that I have a significant zone called the Kryptonite zone, right? And it's like it is. Here's the thing. That Kryptonite zone that we have played for months and months and months and months, which is aptly named because it's like the Kryptonite to the Bears, right? We just haven't been able to get through it. We have found that this is now turning the Kryptonite zone into resistance. So this is what's happening here. We need to be very careful watching this because we are slowly flipping this low-end support line called the Kryptonite zone into our resistance zone, and that's 6450. That's that 6450 number. And you know, you can get a good idea. Now it's just a range, right? And if you you go in here, you see all these, look at all this right here, these lines right here, and this is just such a crazy area. It's just this cluster of bunching sideways movement candles right here. And I've been saying this for months, and now we're back to this area, and every time we try to get back up here and test the Kryptonite zone again, we're just getting rejected. And if you look back here, look, you don't really see you don't really see the candle structures here. Like this time we just kind of fell through it again. You know, we're trying to get back up through it just like this. Same thing. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Oh. Yeah, there you go. So you see that this Kryptonite zone right here in the 6450 area, once we fell through it, and we've fallen through it a couple times, right? Came down, tested it, bounced off, pierced it, never really turned it into resistance, tore back up through it, used it as support a couple times, used it as support here, used it as support here, dropped through it, tested it once, and then just ripped right back up through it. Same thing, came down and kind of just back and forth, wicking it out on it, and then finally break through. Now, we all know, and they just published a brand new report on how much it costs to mine, and there was a brand new report out on the actual cost of mining. Now, some of the mining costs have gone down, right? Some of the mining costs have dropped, right? In certain countries, the cost of mining is going lower. The thing that we all need to be aware of is just like crypto, just like all the exchanges that come online every single damn day, right? Every single day, all that we're waiting for, there's gonna be a point of attrition. There's just too many exchanges coming up right now. Everybody and their mother is launching an exchange, right? Everybody and their mother is launching an ICO right now. It's just a massive money grab because people feel, you got it. The exchanges are trying to get that market share as quickly as they can while there's still market share to be had, right? And the ICOs are trying to get get it, whatever little dollars you have left. They're trying to peel out of your bank account as quickly as possible. And we saw the news that just came out today about the ICOs in America, and that they can actually go after the employees now, right? Was that correct? Did you see that article?
That I did not see that part, but that's crazy.
Yeah, so now they can go after actual employees or members of the ICO, of these ICO coins, and there was a new ruling passed down by a judge, and he went after some guy. Now the guy was doing a bunch of really shady stuff, no question about it, right? But while that stuff is, while that kind of stuff continues to go on here, it just ends up putting us all in a very bad spot, right? Because, that's just what it is. Now, we see just a little dip out right here, so we're falling out a little bit of this area. Once again, we did put in, this is a bearish daily setup. The 2-day is bullish, so we're just going to have to see what trumps what here and what's going to hang on to what. One of the other things I want to do is I want to kind of talk about Litecoin for just a second. Oh, that's not Litecoin. And I want to talk about Litecoin for just a second. And I've really been just playing all my plays off of Litecoin, right? This all we've been trading in the group right now is we're trading Litecoin and Ethereum. That's all we're doing. So there's just trading Bitcoin right now is too volatile. It's just too volatile for a really good trader. You make higher returns trading LTC. We're even doing LTC to BTC trades, ETH to BTC trades. It's a lot easier right now. They move with less. They're more stable right now. Let's just put it that way. So you're not just getting absolutely wrecked with all these crazy swings that are going on. Bang, 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 and everybody's just FOMOing in and out of these trades, and they're getting just wrecked in all these positions. Now, this is my newest chart right here for Litecoin, right? And here's my chart. So I know, Chone is the master at the fibs over here, but I pulled an extended fib. You got a 1-to-1 drop right here, and right here at 150. Now, I was calling this baby all the way down in the members group, even on here. I think on this live area, I had that you need to set your alarm at needed to set your alarms at 53. So in the members area, if you go over and take a look at our charts, they all say set your alarm to short LTC at $53. So we were just. It was a home run. We were shorting the living bejesus out of it at 53. It came down. This teched perfectly on the 1-to-1 right here ratio. We did get a bounce. So I had my bounce up here. I had my 2 arrows back down. And what we're seeing in the marketplace right now is, number one, Ethereum is like beaten. Just beaten and taking an absolute beating. So if you're playing anything right now, you should be playing the weakness of Ethereum, right? And that's such a critical thing. Is Ethereum is running its own game right now. The reason why Ethereum is so weak is you just had this news launch about the ICOs, right? This is bad news for Ethereum, right? Because all these ICOs are hoarding all this Ethereum, right? You've got Ethereum and the rumors and it, people say they're rumors, and I'm saying it's true, that ICOs are dumping their ETH. That is true. They are dumping their ETH. They have to dump their ETH, you bunch of dumb idiots. How do you think they're going to pay their bills? They got to pay their people. How do you think they pay them? How do you think you can't just walk down to your new car dealership and just be like, hey, is there any way I can just pay you in Ethereum? No, they want cash. They want fiat. They want some natural, normal form of payment right now. They don't want Ethereum, okay? So with that being said, you guys, you have to understand that the ICOs dump their Ethereum on the market because they need the fiat to pay their people, to pay their bills. Okay? And it's that simple. And these people who are saying that they're not doing it are just total morons. All right? They are. They have to. That's how they function. That's how this works. That's how real business works. So, Ethereum, yes, these ICOs, people are buying Ethereum. I myself just bought a bunch of Ethereum. I sent it off for tokens, right? In exchange for tokens in an ICO. I actually bought I bought part of that new ICO that Lisa's shilling. Did you see that one? Modern Finance Chain? Yes, this is not a shill, but I did buy some tokens in that. And I was very sneaky. I delayed buying tokens until ETH was falling out of the sky. So I kind of pushed it off for about a week, and because I knew ETH was going down. And I told her again, I said, hey, when ETH hits $155, I will buy some more tokens, right? Because the way I look at it is I feel like if I buy into an ICO that I feel has really good potential, and I like this one, I kind of like what they're doing, I can't double my money with ETH. If I buy one ETH right now for 190, what I bought for $189, $190, whatever it was, it's impossible for me. It is literally impossible for me to double my money in ETH. Okay, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take that ETH purchase, turn it into a token, and when that token does launch to market, I'm looking to take advantage of the first launch, the initial launch of that, and to double my money right off the bat with a low cap coin token ICO that's just going to launch, right? So I think there's going to be a bunch of hype behind it. Even if the tokens double, I snap off a quick sell, I double my money. I can't do that with ETH right now, right? But I am looking at a buy order for ETH. My buy order for ETH is right here. I am looking to buy some ETH at 150 in this mid 150s area, right? I think we will see a bounce in this mid 150s area, right? This is where I think it's going to happen. So here's kind of my buy chart right here. This is my buy chart right here. And I was like, yeah, I was so tempted to buy today, right? Buy ETH here for a bounce 50-50, right? And it did bounce. We got a nice little bounce right here, but I didn't make a buy. I didn't make a purchase there because I felt it's not the time. I'm trying to time the bounce the best that I can, and this is what I do. So every time I get down to an area, next target zone, I'm going to be looking, okay, is this it? Is this where we're going to get the bounce? And I'm looking for this down here in this 150 range in order to finally pull that trigger, right? But getting back to Litecoin, right? So on my Litecoin trade, I've been trading Litecoin to LTC to BTC in a short, and you guys have seen that. And I pulled just a wicked short, and I made a bunch of nice money on that one. And then I jumped out of the trade early because I eventually have to sleep, and I didn't want to sleep on that trade. So I jumped out of it early. I jumped back in it. I made a little bit more money, and now it's falling out of the sky again. It's falling out of the sky again. But when you look at Litecoin, right, we had the one-to-one drop. Then if you pulled your fib retracement from the top to the bottom, it did retrace a little bit beyond. We came up and we broke the 236. It's hard to get in here because the damn price line's on it. But the price line, there's your, the 236 is hidden right there. It's just right there. So we came up, we're back testing the 236. Now, I still think we can go up here, right? Because A, B, C, right? I still think A, B, C, we can still get up here, but I'm watching this very carefully, right? I'm watching this much more careful than I am any other coin, because if Litecoin is strong, Bitcoin will be strong. If Litecoin starts to die, and we are trading off of Litecoin our Bitcoin. right? But right now, Bitcoin's just too crazy. So I'm going to turn this over to, let's see what kind of, yeah, he's always got the prettier charts than me, damn it. All right, go for it. Killing me.
Yeah, listen, I I agree with all that,
Is that
and
fuchsia? What is that, fuchsia? Huh? What is that? Killing me. Guys, killing
this
me.
is
Guess what happens when you drink champagne, ride on a yacht all day, you get the fancy stuff.
it's velvet. Um, so listen, that's great, and I agree with all that. I think it's interesting to look at Litecoin um, from a historical standpoint that basically maps out its history in the 40s. Because listen, we had found current support on Litecoin at what, $49 and a couple cents, and then we kind of bounced up to what, 60 something, and now we're back in our 50s. So the history of Litecoin is kind of written out right here, and it's written out from basically June of 2017 to kind of October of 2017, when we actually officially broke out of the 50s and kind of never looked back until literally like a couple weeks ago. And you see here the last tap
We would like to
of the
know that this
40s.
content is for mature audiences only. Please hide your children. This is
That's where
PG 13.
Yes, we don't want to shock you if you have a heart condition. But listen, it's fascinating where we bounced in this latest bounce at 49 and change was kind of exactly where our last touch of the 40s was before we broke bullish in Litecoin and did our parabolic move. So once that breaks again, and you see this very faint red line here is our current price right around 51 and change, another break into the 40s gives me no confidence that another break of $50 kind of induce some sort of a nice bounce, or at least a longer term bounce. So what that tells us is we need to look back into the history of Litecoin in the 40s. It's a very tight history here, only lasted a couple months. We had a very tight triangle wedge here, consolidation. We broke out very bullishly to almost $90, and then we came back all the way down and found very strong support where the market said no mas, between $32 and $36, and that was our low ever since. So we see, and then crawling up to that, we basically had another stint where we were hovering around 50 before we broke out. So Litecoin in the 40s has actually a lot of history in a large swath of basically from 49 all the way down to 40, because for months, and even that is long in the history of Litecoin, we were basically in this area here. So I agree with Vamp that 44, which interestingly enough corresponds with right here, this major support test. So we broke very bearish here. This was our pullback, okay, when we actually did a mini parabolic move here, okay, and we went down to 32. Then we had a V bottom, and then on the back test, we actually found very strong support at 44 and 31 cents on Bitfinex. So that tells me that the market will once again probably show us that 44, if tested, should be very strong on that test. And again, it depends how we get down there. A trickle through the 40s slowly, because Bitcoin's bleeding slowly, it doesn't give me a lot of faith in the bottoming and the bouncing. A quick dip on a Bitcoin $300, $400, $500 dip to bring Litecoin down to this area would make me feel a little more comfortable on a decent bounce coming out of that. We also see it actually took this higher low in our RSI at that moment there to confirm that we were actually able to kind of continue this move here. So the history in the 40s of Litecoin was written basically a year ago, and literally to this day, a year ago, we were at $62, and then 3 days later, we were at $30. So we took a 50% haircut in like 4 days. from this day a year ago. Holy crap. So that's interesting. So not to scare y'all, but yeah, so there's an example here of quick and very volatile move Bitcoin. Litecoin, although on a completely different circumstance here. But my point is, you look back here in our history in the 40s, and that can tell you a lot about why and where we're currently finding support and potential lower supports if tested on that. Ethereum, if I may.
Yep.
Bring up this tweet I did a day ago, and I did a VPVR analysis of Ethereum's price again back to when Litecoin had its moments here when it basically big. Now we talk about parabolic moves that we've seen in all these altcoins. Ethereum was one of the biggest ones, had by far one of the biggest parabolic moves, where you could literally buy it at $6 and sell it at $1,400 within 11 months. I mean, if just an insane parabolic move. So I'm not surprised that we've had this pullback so far, and I'm looking for more. And I agree with Vamp in terms of his 150 area, because that clearly shows very similar situation here. Where remember when Litecoin went parabolic initially, had a quick pullback, okay, and then had a second test, okay, and found strong support. So that second test is where we're at right now, and then a bearish break of that, we're clearly put, I'd say, anything from 150 to as low as like 1.25. And I've also noticed Ethereum likes to move in 25s. So 200, 175, 150, 1.25, 100, all these areas. But make no doubt that because we broke so bullishly back here in May, June of 2017 so quickly without any significant back tests, we basically went from 100, we basically went up 100% in like, a week or two here. I mean, super quickly. There's a lot of money in this area. There's not a lot of historic price support, which means in this area here, yes, bounces can happen, oversold bounces can happen, or RSI can tell us when we're ready for a stability and a bounce, but it's not until we get down to like at least $60 do we actually find where all the real big money actually entered Ethereum in the first place, and that gives me a lot of perspective as to, yeah, we're pretty bearish now at Ethereum, but I have no doubts that, yeah, $1,400, and now we're at $181. But don't think for a second that we can't get significantly lower. Not necessarily on this particular price move here. Because of this movement here, because of our fibs we've been watching, this could be the end of this move and basically ready for some sort of a short-term corrective area when we find, either a 1-to-1 extension. I mean, I could totally see us getting down to around $100 bearishly before we start taking some
I
move here.
swear I said $90 the other day, and somebody was like, I almost got, thank God it's me, or somebody would have got skewered on Twitter. Somebody's like, how far do you think it's going? I said $90. They were like, it was just a moment of silence.
You have to ask yourself, what's a point where you're going to be super astonished that the valuation is at, that you'll just like, all right, I'm going to take a chance, going to load some up of this, just hold it no matter what. And that's the kind of critical mass where the market needs to get to.
$60.
Yeah, it's like, where's that area where you're just shocked
$60.
it's there, and you're like, I'm going to hold no matter what. And that's where we need to get to.
Just
exactly. And then that's going to get us to that bottoming area here. Now, because Ethereum's relationship with ICOs is so unique, it has this elephant that will constantly be on its back, really until Bitcoin can kind of find some bullish stability in the market. It will continue to have a downward pressure if I'm exchanging my Ethereum for new tokens, and the company, the ICO I'm exchanging it with, has to pay their rent, their light bills, and potentially their infrastructure and their R&D. So they're going to sell my Ethereum for cash to do that. And so that puts that downward pressure on the Ethereum market there. But it's that combined with just the chart and the parabola itself and the science behind the unwinding of a parabolic move. And there's no difference between Ethereum and any altcoin because Ethereum is an altcoin. I know it has had more exposure and has more, I don't know, broader development base behind it, you could say, more brains behind it than other projects. But regardless of that, why is the valuation of the Ethereum token have to be $181 where it was $6, $20, $100 before? So don't tell me that $1,400 is the true value, or of this coin. The market is telling you it's not even convinced that this is even a deal yet or a bargain, and that's why we can definitely go lower. And listen, Bitcoin hasn't even broken really bearish yet. I mean, we talk about Bitcoin in the fives. Could you imagine what Litecoin and Ethereum are going to be in that time frame, and all the other alts combined? So we just have to keep perspective in mind, and this very tight movements here, and Bitcoin will run the show and take everything down with it. And even if it does break bullish, it will potentially keep sucking more money out of other coins because that's just kind of what it does. But the equilibrium is tightening, and we can still have several more weeks of putting in lower highs and higher lows until a definitive change in the market is achieved. And that's what our fall, I think, is going to basically be like.
Yeah, no, I agree. Just ugly. So, all right, let's. So my low targets, they are pretty similar to Jones' targets. So I mean, I do have some pretty low targets. I think some pretty sustainable targets. My next target, of course, is $44. You can see what my next target's on. Now I had 49 today. We nailed it. We did a great job on the trade today in the members area. Then coming down, I'm still looking for now. This 49.50 area is absolutely of the utmost importance, right? So you look right here, you see this line that goes all the way across. This is a historic line that goes all the way back. And let me pull this baby out to the weekly. Okay. So I basically have put on my line right here, and where we're at right now for Litecoin is, you can see you're on, this is $50.40. Look at this line, just perfect. Body, wick, right? So you got the wick there, you got the body there, you got the body there, you got the wick there. And this just coincides perfectly right here. It came off, bounced off this support. Now this is the second test of this lower support. On the weekly, we're only on a 7. You can see we've marched to a 9 already. There's no reason why we can't march to another 9 right here. And in fact, if you start to break out some ugly fibs, excuse me. I mean, look at this. This is a pretty vicious run down. So you're going to have to reassess how this looks right here, because I had this a 1, 2, 3, 4, and we've already gone so far, right, that this is turning into an extended wave 5. So another reason, right, this is another reason why I'm looking to do a buy down here, because I think this is turning into an extended wave 5, and I have had these targets on here for a long time. Okay, you guys can go back through my tweets. You can see it. I can go find it for you. These targets have been on the table for quite a while. And look at how close we are to this $44 target, which I think is coming soon, right? This target is coming soon. If you look here, there's your 5th wave down right there, right? This is your 5th wave. You kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, looking for this 5th wave down right here to bottom us out. So you can just go ahead and listen, I am not a good Elliott guy, all right? So I would go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So this is kind of where I'm looking for this wave 5 to play out. Now, looking at this again, because these drops are so far down here, right? You've got to start to wonder, okay, is this 1? Is this 2? Is this 3? Right? So now you have to ask yourself, was this 1 and that's 2 and this is 3, and this is 4, and something like that's 5, right? So you need to, this is looking really sketch right here. This whole thing now, this is concerning me, right? I would just be, you know, you got to be really careful here and looking at this pattern. But even if this is the problem, if this ends up being just part of your wave 3 here, and this is your wave 5 of your wave 3, that means that your buy zone is not going to be down here till right here at 33 bucks, right? Wick, this is pretty much your buy zone right down in this area right here where this wick is. This is kind of what I'm playing right here as my bottom. So that could be my bottom area also. Not pretty at all, but I've done a pretty good job calling this down. This is a super long wave 5, and it's because this bounced up so high. I am a little bit worried. I'm worried that this won't hold. But I will be looking to buy Litecoin at $44 for a bounce. Okay, so this will kind of be my, and if this if this breaks through 44 bucks, yeah, if this breaks through 44 bucks, I mean, it's $30 all day. Okay, so that's kind of your last, this is kind of your last hope right here, right? There's your last hope right in this market, right in that area. Okay, and this doesn't hold, your next step is 40. Okay, so your next step is right here. There's your next support's 40 bucks. And then your next support right there is the bottom. Right, is that right there. So I just really, if you guys are playing this, you want to watch out for these areas right here for a bounce. Now the good thing about this is, guys, it's irrelevant of what the price is, right? And honestly, you make more money. You really make more money on the if you can double your money on a coin, it's just more money to be had, right? I mean, I feel that that's something that I would really keep an eye on. And let's go over here, since we're talking about doom and gloom, we're going to go back to the Chone doom and gloom chart. Please, everybody be prepared. Turn away from the screen.
So listen, this is Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin daily RSIs, and listen, we're just kind of looking around here to see kind of where everything stands on our daily, and then we'll go up to a higher time frame here. So look where Ethereum is. I mean, Ethereum is significantly more bearish, sub 30 on the daily. Bitcoin's right at 38. Don't like it down there. Ethereum is at 19. Litecoin is at 36. So Bitcoin, Litecoin, very close. Ethereum off the charts, if you will. Now, normally in Ethereum on the daily, these past 2 times we've been in this area, we've had good bounces. We've had very good bounces.
Kind of corresponds with the 155 area.
But we're not down to that point yet. So getting down a couple more points
kind of corresponds to 155, 50-ish.
And listen, bounce. I mean, we are 2 for 2 on a daily, let's say 17 to 18 zone here. And if you got down there, now again, we've had the first time, we actually had a double little bottom in the RSI there on the daily. So just because we bottom on the RSI initially does not necessarily signify the nut bottom in the price, but pretty darn close. And again, so far 2 for 2. Now this one is closer than the last one there. So that's notable in terms of how much of a bounce expectation, you know, I would expect out of this when we do turn a corner. We always turn a corner. These last 2 times here, I remember the market sentiment was extremely bearish. And the end of March, the beginning of April turned into a very good month in April. And, you know, mid-August and the end of August turned into a very good end of August. And once again, we're getting close here. But because we're so close to the last time we actually touched 18, I'm not as optimistic on the extent of this bounce compared to previous ones. Note Bitcoin and note Litecoin. And, if I can take it one step farther here on, this is our weekly Bitcoin chart. We're at 44. This is our ETH weekly chart. We're at 31. Now you see here on our weekly, we are exactly at a historical area of support where we had found a W bottom here with a higher low in the price and a nice bounce here. So again, getting closer. The daily shows we can get a little more droppy before we actually get to those historic areas. And then Litecoin, you see here, is kind of setting in its own path here. Although note, Litecoin has, a clear, very nice, descending wedge here pattern that is clearly playing out, and almost a channel, if you will, than more of a wedge. But this will tell you when kind of the bears had turned a corner, is a significant breakout of this resistance line and potentially a backtest confirmation. So this turning the corner could symbolize that end of that Litecoin bearish move here. But we're showing three situations here where we're getting closer in terms of Ethereum to a bottoming area just because of how bearish more it's been. Litecoin the same way. But I mean, crap, if Bitcoin retest these 30 areas, I think this is more than a several $100 drop, and that could put us lower bearishly than even our best expectations of our ETH 150 and Litecoin 44. That's what we're looking at here. So again, Bitcoin runs the show, very tight here in our equilibrium, and everything else is just kind of crapping out here.
All right, everybody. So one of the things, I want to go back to that daily chart. Pull that chart back up for me, will you? The chart you just had with the three. No, those 3 daily charts.
Sure.
So here's what I want you everybody to be aware of. Okay, so when you look at these charts, right, and I know on the daily, when you look at these charts on the daily, one of the things you got to remember is that this looks like there's massive bounces here, but in reality, these are all bearish divergence RSI bounces. So those bounces look like they're really high that he's showing you right there. But if you go and you compare the price action with that, if you actually take a look at the price action with just those indicators, just the price and the bounces, you'll see, especially on ETH, where ETH has just been a Greek tragedy all the way down, right? And where Bitcoin is actually bounced. I mean, if you look at those charts, you can see right here. See this area right here? I mean, this is more of this is like a kid's slide, right? This is like a kid's fun park slide, where this is like a ski jump. Over here on Bitcoin is a ski jump, right? And then over here on Litecoin, you're not seeing the peak and the valleys that you did over here on Bitcoin. So what you're getting, these are bearish divergence RSI. So as these RSIs are bouncing, the price is just completely just dying with it. So a higher bounce, even these lower bounces or these bounces up aren't bounces in price action. They're just they're bounces into they're called bearish continuation bounces.
Yeah, and there's no real change here because we've talked about what a bear market can bring, and I mean we only have Bitcoin and its length of history to kind of tell us what happens when we start breaking in a bearish market, and we're getting closer. And again, until the market isn't prepared to sell off with these quick bounces here and taking profits, it's going to continue this way. Now you get the shorts a little ahead of their skis, a little too overextended. Now we start talking here. You get that combined with, you talked about the attrition from the markets, the exchanges. Like, you're right. There's too much coin, too many markets. Something has to give.
Yeah.
and that just has to happen.
So for this last segment of the show, all we're gonna do is we're just kind of gonna make our calls for the next day or two. Okay. So I'm gonna let you go first, young man. Give me Bitcoin and two other coins that you have. It can be anything, but at least give me two. Give me two targets with two coins.
So let me pull up Bitcoin here.
Ready?
So
Go.
yeah. So all right. So this every time we've seen this pattern here, we've basically seen it break bullish once we basically have completed it. So there's another reason for one more bull break, just because of how tight our EMAs are. And I can't see how we get back to 6,900. I'm still looking for somewhere of another test, maybe up to 64. Again, we've broken out of our channel here slightly bullishly. It's subtle, but it's there. And we're currently back testing it right now in this candle. If this candle holds this back test here, then I'd be looking for 63.60 and then potentially 65.25, which would put us right at I think 64. Yeah, I'd say we would probably break the upper BB bullishly, get rejected on the 55 EMA. So yeah, there's definitely a reason to get to 65.50 one more time. The futures chart just tells us we can go a little bit higher, but this tight range.
Can you do one thing real quick? Can you go
Sure.
just confirm no tether's been printed before we make a call? Always got to do this, folks. Tether fairies come up and it changes TA. Okay, all right, we're good. We're good so far. We're clear.
And that's something that I keep an eye on every day, because you're right. If that happens, then we know what we potentially expect there. So, yeah, I mean, short term, I'm a little bullish, but bullish now means, a couple $100 up either way. I think the real test is if we start to see a 5 again, 59.99. I think that's when people are going to start to get interested again, because they're watching to see how that reaction could be. Breaking 6K again would be extremely bearish for this market, and there's no reason why we're going to sell off yet, just because these wicks keep telling us that the market, they're buyers here. They're still buyers in the $6,200.
Bullshit. Sorry.
Buyers if there are buyers or bots, right?
New money, new bots. There we go. We got new bots. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's almost like an acronym to say I'm bullish, but for a couple $100, because it's just kind of crazy. But you watch the 4-hour Bollingers, they get tighter, and then I'm kind of be looking for a larger move here. And because these wicks are holding for now, higher lows subtly for now, even though we're kind of drifting sideways here. But let's face it, this is a bull flag. But we're getting too long here. We're starting to get too long from our pull here. So the longer we get, the less of a bear flag this becomes, and the more of a short-term bottoming pattern I would begin to see it as. But that will probably play out in the next couple days. And listen, we're coming off one of the worst weekly candles we have seen in some time. So to get a little green off of this nasty candle wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world. It took us 3 weeks to get up there, 1 week to get down. I wouldn't be surprised with a little stability here, but nothing too drastic. News pending here. And then I guess if I was going to note something of interest, yeah, here's something. So ZRX is one of the Coinbase 6 coins, and it's breaking wicked bearish now. And I've been watching everything from the BTC pairing to the USD pairing. On our weekly, it's only our lower BB, which is incredibly wide here, is holding our support here. If this breaks more through our lower BB with a vicious break, I'd be actually looking for an oversold bounce area. Our weekly is putting a lower low on our RSI. But the reason I'm calling this coin out is because I feel that the Coinbase people are waiting for a better opportunity to load this and then announce that they're going to add it to their platform. So I think this could be a longer term play, but I'd be curious to basically see any massive oversoldness or much lower areas. I'd be more interested in potentially scooping up some, because I don't see why this won't be on Coinbase at some point. And the cheaper it gets, the more attractive it looks to me. That's what I got.
All right, very nice. Okay, so let's go over here. So, all right, let's do my thunks here. Boy. All right, so let's do ETH first. So I'm going to do ETH. ETH is just, yeah, it shouldn't even count. I shouldn't even get to do ETH because it's just not even fair, right? So I think ETH is, if we do get a bounce on ETH, it's going to be very, very, very limited, right? And something like that. But I am looking for more of a bounce a little bit lower. This might be pushing it. You might get something like that right there, even something like this. So I had a little more hope, but now that as I'm watching the market develop out here, I'm really kind of skeptical on ETH. ETH is kind of leading the pack right now over Litecoin, so it's even leading the pack over Litecoin on bearishness. And we're not even seeing any kind of rally bounces. There's just no rally relief here. Now, the other bad thing is you come back here in your 12-hour, you just started a brand new countdown. This is like one of the worst things you could see happen. And there it just goes, just kind of totally tanking out with another red count on a high time frame, which is very bad. You go out to the 3-day. I mean, look at this thing. This thing is just beasting down. Now, on the 3-day, I am looking for this to finally come down here and test this area. Then that'll give us 3 black crows. Then I would be looking for a bounce here, right? So I'd be looking for my bounce after we got 3 black crows on the 3-day. Let's peek at the weekly here. Oosh, Lord, don't look. All right, bad, bad. Okay, this is the new 9 black crows pattern right here. So these 9 black crows are just flying. I'm just kidding. It's not a pattern. So, but no, listen, we've broken the 1-to-1 on our extended fib. The next stop down here is the 2236. That's really where I think we're headed. And yeah, we can get some bouncing in, so a little volatility in here as this races down to this support level. But I still think this is our support. I've called this for a long time. This is kind of where I think we're going to end up. A couple of the other coins that are running out there, this doggy coin. Seriously, man, this doggy coin on fire, right? Really, double top on the doggy. So you got a double top on the doggy. It finally started to retrace. Boy, some people made some really good money. This is a really good trade. A lot of people had a lot of fun on this thing. This thing has got to fall. I'm waiting for this thing to still retrace. This is not a good enough retracement for me. But I'll tell you what, man, I will give it a shout out to whatever the hell doggy does. I'm not sure what the hell this coin does. It's just like a shill pump and dump coin in my mind.
It's the future of currency.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
And yeah, I agree with you in the pronunciation. It is dog e-coin. It's not Dogecoin.
Oh, yeah, I thought it was doggy.
So I agree. It's yeah, I thought it was doggy too, and everybody on the news like Dogecoin. No, it's dog e-coin. Makes a lot more sense.
Douchecoin would be better. Douchecoin.
Well,
listen,
and this is
hey, you're making money on it. You're making money on it. Go for it.
Yeah, and we have seen microcap coins, sub 100 Satoshi coins, pump. They're not that hard to pump if you get the right money behind it. And there's a lot of sub 100 coins that come to mind. This one is probably one of the most famous because it was historically created as a joke or a spoof, and has stood the test of time for quite some time, actually.
Yeah.
But when you get these sub 100 Satoshi coins, anything goes, and you can get quicker parabolic moves like this that are not surprising. But as you said, expect them to dump just as hard.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, looking at this, this kind of looks like an ABC retracement, or right here, ABC. 1, 2. This could be a wave 3, 4. Looking for a wave 5 up. Uh, just tough to tell, man. It's hard to play with these low cap coins and see where they're going to go. Listen, this thing is way up here, really high in the RSI. It's still got room to go up. It's not in really any danger zone whatsoever. And look at your rally, relief rally, and so you put the second bull on the horn. Now, looking at this, this is kind of bullish. This is bullish divergence on the RSI on Doggy, because look, here was your peak. This is your first high. You came back, you hit your second high. You still now have room to go up for a third push, right? Or you can even drop lower and throw a third push up there, and you could actually get higher. See, kind of like it did over here. If you look right here, drop down and then just mega spike. Really good, but the RSI was much lower. And I mean, God bless people playing Doggy. If you're making that money, just be careful while you're in that coin. Litecoin. Oh, sorry. It's my funny thing. Do you see my thing I posted the other day? My Vamps Bullish Twitter following.
Yeah. Oh yes, yes. I did remember that.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. So all right. So on Litecoin, let's just do Litecoin real quick. So on Litecoin, listen, I still think that we are a little bit, you can get a little bit of oomph out of here. I feel there's a little bit of oomph. We could come back up. I would be setting my stop loss here if you're in this short trade. So we call this short trade from 53 bucks. I would put my stop loss right up here in even area. I would be right up here even. If you want to be really tight in your stop loss, I would move it right down here to 52 bucks. So you'd be in profit right here. Now we are on the 6 hour. We're on a red 8, right? So we're on a red 8. We're just going to have to see how this plays out. Remember, this is not good for this red 8 to be higher here. You don't really want this red 8 to be higher. Let's go up to our 12 hour on Litecoin. 12 hour on Litecoin looking bad because look, you restarted your count and you started a brand new countdown. This looks like a rising wedge right there. Rising wedge for sure. Okay, so take a look at this. So on Litecoin, listen, you are on a 9. You're on a bleeding 9 right here on the 4 hour, right? There's got to be some kind of relief rally here to hold this up. Now, this can bleed down still a little bit more, but I'd be very careful with this, with playing this in a short position right here, unless you're shorting LTC to BTC, and then that kind of changes up the parabola. But for this, you guys want to, I'd be just really careful playing this here. This is a rising wedge. This could post up a green 1 eventually if this came back up, like just move sideways for another day. You post up a green 1, that'd be the worst thing to happen right here. Remember, that is the 4 hour, so this action can happen quickly. This can come up. Look, there's your $52 resistance again on the 4 hour. 6 hour, 52, almost 53. 12 hour, you're up right here at your 53 where you started. Let's go look at our daily. All right, so our daily closed out. Not good. Holy crap. And the good thing about your daily is you are on an 8 on your daily, so you're on an 8. That's looking good. Now your crosses are helping you. Just want to make sure there's nothing. Nope, nope, nope. And we just did peg up a new 2-day candle. Now you have a new 2-day candle that is trading lower, right? So you're trading lower again with this brand new 2-day candle. Like I said, there's just nothing. There's nothing here to hold you up. You know, that last thing to hold you up is right there. You know, it's right over here. This is it. You got to be, this is very simple, okay? You set your alarms. This is as easy as it gets, right? You set your alarm, and if you break this right here, which is $50.65, right? If you break and close below this, okay? And this can close below this on like a 12 hour, right? There's the 12-hour. You can close below this on a 6-hour. Okay, so see, look, you've never closed below this. All right, so if you look up here, look, you've never closed below this line ever. And this is like your last stand. Look at that. Tap, tap. Never closed below it. So right now, all you guys got to do is watch this. I would set an alarm right here for this $50, right? $50.63. So I'd post up an alarm for $50.63. If you close, and you have to close at least, let's see, a 4-hour. Yep, so at least a 4-hour candle below it, right? You just have to close a 4-hour candle lower than $50.65. Okay, and this is pretty easy. We're just throw this up there. Set your alarms. For, just call it sub $50 and $50.65 for a close. This would give me a confirmation for a short, right? So the reason why this would give me a confirmation for a short, because this would be breaking the support. Okay, so once you break this support, right, even if this bounces, right, even if this bounces and you're in a low leverage trade, right, you're not doing something insane like 100x or something, even if you're in a low leverage trade, when this bounces up, you're still going to expect this to bounce back down. But it has to close below. All right, let's do this for a close. Then 50.65 on the 4-hour. Okay? There you go. So this would signal to you the ultimate amount of weakness, right? Because that's it, folks. That's it. Goes all the way back here. Okay? So this would trigger you to a short trade with your targets lower, right? It's that simple. So we're just going to pull this up over here. There you go. All right. You got anything else over there, young man? You got some fancy charts going over there.
Just one more thing real quick.
Go for it. It's all
we
you.
can end it here. I don't know. I mean, again, this is what can take us, you know, into October of Bitcoin here. This just tightening wedge, daily chart. Notice where our 200 MA is consistently adding rejection here. We didn't even get close enough to it here, but you know, I'd expect another close encounter with this line at some point as we get through September, heading into October. Even though I'm bearish on Bitcoin,
Woo!
even though another test of
76. You think we're going to get back up to 77,000?
No, 60.
Oh, got it. Okay. I swear to God,
Yeah.
I thought you were pointing at the 200 MA.
No way. No, we're getting there.
I was like,
No.
God damn.
But
What do you know? What do you know?
This, I got the inside. But this, here, this, you know, this 200 MA is going to do something like this, probably, and that's where I'd be watching for another close encounter, still hitting our resistance line. You know, there's no reason for this line to fail just yet. You know, there's just not. The market just, I don't feel as, even though it's bearish and bearish in the market, I still feel we could probably hold one more test here and then, you know, go another thing here. Now, that's the feeling I had back here when, especially on this candle here, which was a super bearish candle. Oh my God, here we go. This is it. And it actually turned out to be a very nice bottoming hammer. that was able to
Yeah,
really
but come on,
kind of.
they printed like 5 gazillion tether on
Yeah, they did. They
the
did, and that's why we're kind of keeping an eye out for the
helped a
tether,
little,
obviously.
helped a little.
But this, from a chart perspective, I don't see why we're kind of break yet. And but you asked me the same question over here. You know, again, this takes us into Halloween area here potentially. You know, and I'd be surprised if we're even able to get this tight in our apex. Most of the time, we get to around this area before we either break out or break down. Um, but our apex area, um, we seem to I've seen this before where we actually kind of break bearish and then kind of come back up, retest our support line. Remember, this is a strong support line here. So even if we break bearish, the back test is a very good possibility to confirm that, and then we could potentially keep going lower there. But again, this is weeks out here, and this is still kind of our tightening in play here. So, and we've seen where Bitcoin's stable, Bitcoin relatively stable with a slight bullish uptick feeling to it, can allow some money to go into alts. And we're seeing, you know, little bits of this and that. Your doggies, XLM had a pump earlier, so you know this is the market we're in right now. That's what I'm seeing. So give people. Oh, you want to end on this one?
Yeah, can you do XLM?
So sure. So XLM, I got the BTC. I haven't looked. Oh, interesting. So I got a nice little pitchfork going on here. This is my last chart. And what do we find? Oh, okay. So we actually double touched. We double touched this area here on the BTC pairing, and had a nice pump today with some pretty good volume.
Wow.
Uh, kind of a nasty wick though. We actually sold off a decent amount, but we're holding. Uh, not a bad sell off there, and yeah, we actually have bullish divergence on our OBV. I like that. We are bullishly turned up on our MAC Dizzle, and we're still have another leg on us on our Stoke. And our daily RSI is closing in on 50. So not a bad BTC XLM BTC chart. You know, XLM USD crypto. Here we go. Bitfinex. And let's see here.
I have my chart
I
pulled
don't
up.
know. Yeah, it's a double bottom bounce. I mean, slight higher low. Volume is still anemic. Got rejected at EMA 12. I mean, yeah, it's angling like it wants to do something. And I do like how the OBV is holding a higher low. So yeah, maybe we can build on this. Let me do just one last thing real quick here. Is just what do we extend down to here to support? So yeah, you know, kind of in that 382 area. So that's valid for holding a you know, a support area here. So yeah, short term, I could be definitely a little bullish on this and look to test these EMAs as resistance here until that changes here. All the indicators can be angled to break bullishly here. And XLM is also one of the Coinbase 6 coins, although I highly doubt that it will be the next one added.
All right, so let's go ahead and we can take a look at my chart here. So here was my bottom target on XLM. Got it. There was my line on XLM. And let's go, and I just want to confirm. Okay, hold on a second. Give me a second here. See if I can. Let's see, XLM. Nope. Okay, where would you be? You gotta be in here. Let me find this real quick. I just want to double confirm this. I know I got it in here. Where are you? Do I do a little bit of charting or what? XLM, where are you? Where are you? I know I would have saved this chart. But I don't think I have an XLM. Big sad face. It's been a while since I've done it.
Listen, it's going to be a coin that will be
Yeah.
a player, in the future.
Yeah.
It will be around for a while. It has enough infrastructure. It could be a long-term play for sure, but we've
Yeah.
seen how low it can go, obviously.
All right, so here, basically you got a nice bounce out of this, and here's I did the extended fib on it. It did bounce off my support line. There was my support line right there. You did get a long call on the B scalper. It was a really good call on the B scalper. It is headed up. It's headed up. Yeah, like you said, this looks strong. This has got bullish potential here. Have you now on the low side? If this does keep going, scoot that. You get the 2618 over on the low side, but I'm going to go ahead and remove this, and I'm going to add that other target, which is right down here, and then I'm going to drop a. Let's go ahead. We're going to go top to bottom here. All right, look at that. Retrace right back to your 5-0. So this bounced right up to the 5-0, and it bounced up. You see the red dotted line right there? That's historical support and resistance. Tagged that perfectly. Bounced off it. Now, if you're looking, you just got to keep an eye out for this. It looks like it's going to do a retrace, and yeah, I mean, this could definitely get one more kick up here. Maybe come up to the 618. But, man, I don't know. I don't know. This is definitely a lot stronger than the majors are right now. It's crazy. There's a bunch of small cap coins are all really strong. So, all right, I think that's it. I think we're good for the show today. I want to say thank you to everyone for being here, and we need to figure out a way to make these damn shows shorter. These last so damn long. So yeah, my call right now is, I mean, I really think I think we have a very limited, I'm calling this a bearish continuation bounce. I'm still looking for some kind of a small bearish continuation bounce on LTC. And I think other than that, I'm not getting excited. In fact, boy, if we get up to 6,500, that'll be like epic. I think it'll be an epic run to get up to the 6,500 range. I'm thinking, the tops, we're still 6,400. I have lowered my targets. And basically, we're all sitting here just waiting with bated breath for this thing to make the next move, right? And
Indeed.
listen, I advise everybody, like I'm advising everybody in our groups, this is not a good place to trade. Okay, this is like a scalper's paradise. If you're scalping, this is an okay place to scalp, right? But I do not recommend any of you to be actually trading. I don't recommend anyone to be picking up altcoins right now. Picking up altcoins is just asking for a beating, right? Even, you have some of these really good altcoins. You guys, if this, and I still feel that even after we get this little relief bounce, right? This little relief bounce is this bearish bounce. After this bearish bounce, we are going to test 6,050. That's going to be our very first target. We're going to test 650. It's going to be the first test, and that you can see that on my fib chart, right? My fib chart lays that out pretty damn well, right? And then here it is. This is my fib chart. This is the line we got to test right here. You know what? Every day that goes by, this line just moves a little bit higher. So now, we're probably, by the time we get over to test this thing's going to be up, cruising up right here. And until we cross this line, we are bullish. Okay, we're technically bullish because until we break this line is your trend line from your last low to that low to here. And we would want to see this line broken. Even if this gets a nice long wick out of this, this is going to show you This is going to be a trigger signal for everybody that you need to be shorting the living bejesus out of the market, okay? You need to be shorting the living bejesus out of the market right here, because this is a signal that you have now put in a lower low, just breaking this trend line here, all right? So for the Vamp, for the Chone, who's eventually going to get Cheds on the show one day, someday. I thought you guys were going to come on yesterday.
Yeah, we got a late start to dinner last night. Oysters were calling, so we'll reschedule that.
And does
Dollar
anyone
oysters
here
count.
does anyone here feel sorry for him at all? No. Yeah, if he would have said we were at Taco Bell, it was late, couldn't make it, might have had a little bit of pity party for him, but no, you're killing me. All right. Listen, I am overall bearish. Nothing has changed my mind here. If you're doing any scalping, you should be scalping bearish. Okay? I warn against long trades. Just like Chone said, a long trade, yes, you can play up here a couple 100 points. But if you're playing this and you get trapped in this, you are going to get your hand slapped and it's going to hurt a lot. Okay? It's going to hurt a lot. Listen, come on over. You guys want more information. You guys want to get 24 hours a day of the Ched and the Vamp. Listen, Jonas is offering. He's got these packages. He does this online tutoring thing. You guys get one-on-one tutoring with the Chone himself. They're 45 minutes an hour.
I did one today. It was over an hour, actually.
There you go. You get up to an hour at least with Chone. He helps you set up your charts. He helps you guys to basically lay out everything. He gives you a bunch of really good knowledge, get you guys off starting on the right foot. If you guys want that every day, all the time, you can come on over, get his package inside of our group. You guys can learn to trade like the man himself. You guys want to get really spendy and start throwing those the yacht dollars around, I would be happy to take your yacht dollars over on my Vamp package. Okay, but remember, guys, if you come on over, we have so much to offer everybody, and our people in our group are absolutely freaking killing it. Killing it. We're murdering it over there, man. I am 11.5 trades out of 12 trades right now, and I'm super excited, and I'm having a good time, and that's all I got to say, right? It's so much fun. I love this market. I love this market. I don't even know why people are upset about this bear market. This is freaking great, right? It's like gravy. It's like easy money. So please come on over, find us until1mil.com and find out where the price is going next, man. Don't be the one chasing money. Don't chase good money after bad money, all right? Stop chasing money. Come on over, join us, and let us help you to make the money you deserve. And we are out.
Peace.